AITA for not being very strict with my daughter at my house compared to my ex-wife, which has led to my ex-wife and I exchanging some words to each other.
Posted by dociamtired.
I, 43 male, have a daughter, 16 female, who I have joint custody over with my ex-wife, 39 female. We got divorced when my daughter was a baby, and the court awarded 50-50 custody for the both of us. I will admit, though, being a doctor comes with its consequences. I haven't been as present as I wish I could have been. When my daughter was 13, she started telling me things that her mom does or rules that she has in place over her, and how she thinks it's unfair. I'd listen to her and advise her to talk to her mom. My daughter would then ask if she has to obey those rules over here still, to which I said no. At first, it was just small stuff that I find nitpicky, things like not being able to eat in the living room. As she's gotten older, she's started making more requests for privileges in my house, and it's pretty much gone like this. Example 1. Mom doesn't let me hang out with friends during the week. Well, that's dumb. If you have a ride there and back, you can go with your friends. Example 2. Mom doesn't let me wear comfortable cloths around the house. She says I have to dress modestly. You can walk around the house naked for all I care. Example 3. You and Mom's houses don't have locks on my bedroom door. There isn't a lock? I can call a guy out and have him put a lock in for you if you want. Example 4. Mom doesn't let me drink soda. Do you want soda? If so, I can order it with our groceries from Hy-Vee. You get the idea. I don't want to say I've become a doormat for my daughter, but I'm not nearly as stingy about rules. It's her house just as much as it's mine in my eyes. My ex-wife recently has been going off on my daughter and I about how I'm letting her get away with any and everything, and how my lack of discipline at my house is leading her to break rules at her mother's house. I told my ex-wife that she should ease up on our daughter because she's almost a damn adult and doesn't need to be treated like a toddler. My ex-wife went bananas over the phone with me, and at her house, she went off on my daughter for being an undisciplined brat. My ex-wife is threatening to take me to court for custody if I don't straighten up my act, and I told her she kissed my ass. It has me wondering, though, am I being an asshole to my ex-wife? Is this bad dad behavior? I want my daughter to feel safe, comfortable, and happy, and I want to believe I'm doing that. If I am being an asshole to my ex-wife, what do I do? Update. I have been talking to my daughter and ex-wife over the last several hours and have figured out a few things. 1, there is no other permanent resident at my ex-house. No boyfriend, no husband, no other kids, nothing like that. My ex does have this book club thing she hosts and has guests once a month, but all are adults. 2, my ex doesn't let my daughter have a lock on her door because, and I quote, because I'm not going to give her the ability to hide her drugs or boyfriends she is sleeping with. 3, my ex doesn't let my daughter see her friends during the week because she says her friends are distractions to school. However, her report card says she is doing just fine academically. 4, my ex doesn't just control what she wears, but also won't let her use makeup or even watch or consume adult media. My daughter says that my ex called her attire slutty one time because she was wearing a shirt with no bra. My ex denies saying this, but I wouldn't put it past her. 6, I asked my daughter if she would have a problem with me putting Life 360 on her phone so I can see where she goes. She handed me her phone and said, again, she has nothing to hide, so she doesn't care. 7, I did talk to my daughter about her attitude and treatment to her mother. She agreed that she has been acting out and said she will text or call me if she has an issue with something her mom is doing. She said she will respect her mother's rules, but she did ask me to talk to her about her mother's comments about her body. Apparently, my daughter feels like her mother is sexualizing her and her body, and it makes her uncomfortable. I agreed to talk to her mom about it. So far, that conversation is deadlocked because her mom will not let up on her whole modesty shit. 8, my daughter told my ex that if she tried to take me to court, my daughter will ask a judge to live with me full time. More to come update-wise. Thank you all for your input. Better Scorpio 02 comments. NTA. The clothes and the door lock concern me. Is your ex remarried? Other kids in the house? Policing what she wears at home and calling it modest makes it seem like your child is some sort of sexual object and not a kid. Then the lock, it really sounds like she wants to keep people out. You should ask her about that more in depth. The other thing some people are more strict on than others, your ex cannot control what happens in your house. Whether she likes it or not, you are an equal parent. OP response? Now that you mentioned the lock thing, that does seem concerning. I just passed it off as she wants her own privacy and left it as that. Before my daughter mentioned it, I didn't even know the door didn't have a lock. Fire or water, Kai? Comments? NTA. I'm here thinking you're letting her run wild or something with saying you're not strict. Your daughter can't have a lock? That's some real extreme behavior on your ex's part, and a surefire way for your daughter to move in with you. Let her take you to court and tell the judge how you're such a bad parent that you let your daughter maintain a modicum of control over her privacy and how she dresses. As long as your daughter does well in school and isn't getting into trouble, you're fine. Don't try to be the Disney dad, but be reasonable and make sure she's growing into a healthy young adult. OP response: I do enforce other rules, such as she needs to have all her homework done before going out with friends, I need to see her report cards, she needs to do her chores, etc. She doesn't fight me over them and does them usually without me asking, so she's very responsible. OK Maintenance 7716 comments: If I was your ex, I'd be very concerned about a dad telling his 16-year-old daughter to walk around the house naked. OP response: I don't know why so many people are jumping on this, but maybe I am in the wrong for this, or maybe I phrased it wrong. I don't care what my daughter does or doesn't wear in my house because it's her house too, so I want her to be comfortable and happy. And I don't think much of it either. My daughter doesn't say anything about it when I'm home, and I don't say anything to her about it.
My ex-wife. To start, last Sunday, I had very long discussions with my ex-wife about our daughter. To not ramble on, daughter says it's called yapping now, I'll give you the short version. My ex-wife says that she has to be strict on my daughter so she doesn't turn out bad. She doesn't let my daughter wear makeup, hang out with her friends during the week, eat certain foods and drink certain drinks, consume certain media, have locks on her door, wear certain clothes, and she makes my daughter text her every hour she's not at school but out of the house on weekends, detailing who she is with, where she is at, and what they are doing. I talked to my daughter about her mother's rules at her house. If her mother doesn't want her eating in the living room or drinking Sprite, she's allowed to have that rule. I told her she cannot like it all she wants, but at the end of the day, they are not unreasonable requests. My daughter, though, very firmly asked me to talk to my ex-wife about the things that bug her the most. Those things are what she does and doesn't wear in the house, a lock on her door, and the rules in place about her friends, only on the weekends, and texting her mom constantly. I asked my daughter if she would be okay with me tracking her on Life 360, and she said she's okay with me tracking her, but not her mother. My daughter tells me pretty much everything, though sometimes I wish she didn't overshare information I don't need to know about, but she says she trusts me and knows I trust her, but she doesn't want her mom to be able to track her at all hours of the day. The lock on her door was something else we discussed. I asked my daughter why she wanted a lock on her door, and she provided information I absolutely did not need to know, but basically she wants privacy and to be alone sometimes. I checked her room out with her in the room and didn't find anything like drugs or plans to overthrow the Illuminati, so she's good on that front. When I asked her mother why she can't have a lock on her door, she said it's because she, and I quote, doesn't want her having sex, doing drugs, or hiding things from her. Apparently, my ex-wife just barges into her room and searches her things. I found that to be ridiculous and a complete violation of my daughter's privacy, and I bitched a fit to my ex about it. No wonder my ex doesn't know any of my daughter and I's little secret, that she's bisexual. She can't even trust her mother not to go through her shit. Next, the whole issue about what she does and doesn't wear in the house. In my house, I couldn't give less of a fuck. Usually, she walks around in a shirt, with no bra, wearing boxers or some shit. Sometimes she wears normal clothes, sometimes she goes nude, sometimes she wears one of those full-body pajama suits. Don't give a shit. But she knows the rules about it. She has to leave the house wearing normal clothes, and she needs to have normal clothes on when guests are at the house. When she's there alone or with me, she can do whatever. Her mom, on the other hand, has been sexualizing her daughter and making incredibly suggestive comments about her body. My ex denies doing this, but I don't think my daughter would lie about it. And knowing my ex, she 100% said it. My ex has said my daughter dresses slutty, flaunts herself like a stripper, and is not a modest woman. Needless to say, this pissed me off 6 ways to Sunday, and we exchanged some heated words over the topic. My daughter came over to the house today for our 50-50 custody swap, and immediately went and locked herself in her room. At first, I thought maybe she was going to go FaceTime her friends or something, so I let it be for a bit. But after she didn't come out after an hour or so, I knocked on her door. My daughter had been crying. I asked why, and she said that my ex told her she's going to take me to court and ensure I won't see her again. Just got done consoling my heartbroken daughter, typing all of this out with her tears and snot on my nice shirt. There's the update. I say game on to my fucking bitch-ass ex-wife. Stallion842 comments. So on this, I have mixed feelings. In Mo, it's perfectly reasonable for mom to not want your daughter to be nude walking around the house. That's a perfectly reasonable boundary, especially if you're in a culture where nudity is not common, like the US. Right or wrong, that's our culture. Shirt, short shorts, no bra is fine too. OP's response. I tried to talk to my ex about at least letting her be more comfortable around the house, the biggest thing being bras. Not a braologist, and I've spent well about $1,000 on bras for my daughter, but apparently they all suck and hurt her, so she likes not wearing them when she can. When she's at my house, she doesn't, and I don't care. But her mom is insistent on modesty and makes comments about it to her. On the nudity thing, she doesn't do it often. Since I'm not corrupted by pornography and I don't sexualize my own daughter, I don't care when she does it, but I did tell her if her mother doesn't want her doing it there, that's a reasonable request. Anxious Gray's comments. Frankly, at the moment, my bigger concern with her walking around your house naked is that I worry it could be used against you pretty severely in a custody battle if your ex or her lawyer found out. Whether or not it's an okay thing in general isn't for me to judge, but the optics of it when it sounds like you might end up in a pretty heated custody battle might be worth thinking about. OP's response. Could be troublesome. You and the comment above you are right. I'll talk to my daughter about it, but I'll have to make sure I word it in a way that doesn't come off as trying to strip her of her autonomy. Pumpkin's mom's comments. Just an FYI, the oversharing is uncomfortable but pays off with immense trust over the years. My older son, in his 30s now, realized when he was about 23 that the oversharing made me uncomfortable, so now he does it on purpose because he thinks it's funny. The bottom line is that my kids feel like they can come to me about whatever, and we can talk. I think it was probably one of the most successful things I've done as a parent, and all I had to do was talk openly to them about uncomfortable topics: changing bodies, sex, pregnancy, safe sex, interpersonal relationships, how different people perceive things differently. No unplanned babies, no jail, 1 STI, and 2 30s adult functional men who still call me just to chat. OP's response. I do love that she overshares because it means she trusts me, though I did tell her that she does not need to tell me absolutely everything. For example, when I asked her why she wanted a lock on her door, she said one of the reasons was so she could masturbate without being walked in on. Ball flew out of left field and hit me right in the skull. I'm glad she trusts me, but man, I don't need all the details. A simple, I just want some privacy would have sufficed.